everyone. It is 10 o'clock, so I will call to order the meeting of the November 17th Development Waiver Review Committee. If anyone has any audible devices, please turn those off right now. My name is Ann Lippman. I am the Community Development Director and the Chairman of this committee, and I would ask my fellow committee members and our county attorney if they would turn on their microphones and please introduce themselves.
George Jones, Paulding County Department of Transportation.
Bruce Coyle, County Engineer.
Frank Baker, County Administrator.
Lori Ashmore, Water System Director.
Jason Phillips, County Attorney.
Thank you all very much. The first item on our agenda today, and before we do that, we have two staff members with the Planning and Zoning Division. We have Leah Wilson and Mark Long here today as well, helping us out. Our first agenda item is a review of the minutes from the October 20th, 2020 meeting. If everyone has had a chance to look at those and there are no corrections or additions, would anyone like to make a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve from Mr. Baker,
Second.
and we have a second from Ms. Ashmore. Are there any questions about these minutes? If not, all in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none. The minutes are approved unanimously. Our first case today is case number 2020-06-W. It is application by Vernetta Uzzle requesting a modification of the development standards to approve a fourth home on 2 acres off an easement. Overall property is 11.98 acres and is located in land lot 871, District 2, Section 3 on Vince Aiken Path, south of Fuller Loop Road, and it is located in Post 2. Is the applicant present? Okay, if you please come forward to the podium. Just give an overview of your case and address any of your comments to me.
Okay, my name is Vernetta Uzzle. I'm appearing before y'all this morning for approval for waiver of an easement. And my mother has given both me and my brother 2 acres, and mine will be the 4th, so I'm just trying to get approval for the exempt of the easements.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Have a
you.
seat. At this time, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on behalf of the application? Is there anyone who would like to express opposition or concerns about the application? Okay, I don't think we do. At this point, I'll ask the committee again if there's any questions or if anyone would like to make a motion.
Is all the private land that the easement passes through, is that all family that's already,
Pretty much,
and they're all agreed to do maintenance?
yes,
And you've agreed to participate with maintenance?
yes.
Should your construction vehicles tear up the path to get there? That's what we're always, there's always questions on who owns what, who maintains the driveway.
Right.
And then a lot of times the last house, the 4th house, tears up the driveway during construction. And there's always a lot of times concern from the people who also use the driveway.
Yes, we pretty much all agree to, to maintain the road.
That was my only concern, maintenance.
For the record, I just want to see if there were any comments that your office received, either
did
for
not.
or against.
We did not receive any comments on this one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, if there are no other questions, would anyone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve from Mr. Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
And we have a second from Mr. Coyle. Are there any questions? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none. The motion carries unanimously. Our next case today is case number 2020-11-SBV. It is application by D.R. Horton, Inc., Atlanta West Division, requesting a stream buffer variance to allow for grading encroachments for a small portion of the residential structures to reside within the impervious setback. Property is located in land lots 311 and 312, District 1, Section 2, near Georgian Parkway at Peg Cole Bridge Trail, and it is also located in Post 2. Is the applicant present? Don't think we have an applicant present. Mr. Phillips, do we move forward if we do not have an applicant? Okay. Hold, please.
Just typically on an administrative proceeding, we would oftentimes give people at least 15 minutes to show. 10:06 right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use some of those minutes to determine.
Okay,
what
please do.
they may have.
We are on hold right now.
I make a motion, we,
Oh, hold on. Jason's looking to see if
is this DR Horton?
I don't know. Are you, sir, are you the applicant for, yes, okay. You're up.
Just in the nick of time.
Yeah, if you please approach the podium. We just called the case, so if you would please give an overview of the request and direct all your comments to me.
Yeah, so we're working on permitting.
Oh, please state your name for the record.
Nathan
too.
Adrian with Southeastern Engineering
Okay,
applicant.
thank you.
On behalf of DR Horton. We're looking at developing this last section of the Georgian Heritage along Georgian Parkway, and we ran into a little bit of an issue on several of the lots that are getting pinched between the Colonial gas line easement, and then there's a stream buffer that kind of sits to the south there. And because of the geometry between the two, the street, we're kind of getting pinched, and so we're looking to do little grading improvements for the backyards and, kind of regular quality kind of things.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone on the committee have any questions for Mr. Adrian?
You submitted an additional sketch of an absorption trench,
Yes.
and you intend on installing that on all these lots?
Yeah, so it's a bit of infiltration trench, so the downspouts for the rear of the house will feed into this infiltration trench, and that way the water can slowly infiltrate into the ground instead of running off into the back of the yard. That's kind of what that is.
And we would mark all those lots on the final plat for HLP with this detail.
Sure.
And that would hold your CO on the house unless that's installed.
Yeah,
It's sort
that'd be
of
fine.
beyond regular building, but we can,
Yeah,
I
we
was
can agree to
curious.
that, yeah,
It
sure.
wasn't with the initial submittal, and then it came later,
That's right, yeah.
and that's what we don't object. But
Do any other board members have any questions? Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else wishing to speak on behalf of this application? At this point, is there anyone wishing to express opposition or concerns about the application? Please come to the podium and direct all your questions to me.
My name is Tom Morris. I own property adjacent to this proposal. Lots 11, 12, and 13 are bordering the proposed mitigation area. And I would like to know what that really means to me and the other two property owners there in terms of that proposed mitigation area. I don't know if it's really showing on this particular slide or not, but on the site plan, there is a proposed mitigation area that borders Heritage Point, active adult community. Many of us along that area are also concerned about what this will do to the trees that suffer, that are a buffer for us right now behind the property down that part of Heritage Point. And I would like to have some explanation about the mitigation area, what that will do to us. Is that going to be a retention pond, or will that be something else? Will trees be clear-cut behind these homes in that area, so that we'll all of a sudden lose those trees and the green space behind Heritage Point? So could someone speak to that for me, please?
Okay, I've noted down your questions, and if we have any other questions, we'll have the applicant come back up and I'll ask them the questions. Is there anyone else who would like to express opposition or concerns about this application? Morning.
Good morning. Patricia Johnston. I live on Peggy Colbridge Trail. I live across the road from this proposed development. You have my pretty picture handout in your packet, which is not technical information, but it certainly is an emotional appeal to our county officials to know that Paulding County is so critical for water resources in the entire Chattahoochee River Basin. We are the headwater and the stream, headwater and the watershed, of course, for Sweetwater Creek, which goes all the way through Cobb to the park and into the Chattahoochee River. We have over the years lost a lot of our springs and streams going into Sweetwater through pollution, through paving over, through neglect, through not knowing they were there in the first place. And I am very concerned. I'm speaking up for the stream and for the springs that are around the spring. I only took a picture of one spring. I had retained an attorney to look into the development because I wanted to know if it would affect my property. And through the good counsel of our engineers in the county and Mr. Robinson and this good engineer I've hired, they said, no, it looks like you'll be okay with your land. And I asked the engineer, but what about the stream? And he said, no. He does this work all the time. He was with the Corps. He's with Schnabel Engineering, and he does this sort of thing a lot. He thinks that there is very little protection now for the stream. It's just feet required by the state and extra feet, which our county put on to protect, which is a very, very good thing to have that extra protection. But now the developer wants to remove the county protection for several of those lots. It doesn't look good. What I would love to see happen, if possible, is a tabling. As I said, I have hired my own engineer. He is on board. He would have been here today, but he had another meeting this morning. And he's very interested in being involved. I am paying him to do more research. He will give any reports that he makes to the county at my expense. That is how serious I am about protecting the little springs and this stream. It goes out of the property being discussed into the golf course and from there straight across into Sweetwater Creek. We just have to enforce the laws that we have to protect the streams that we have left. Do you have any questions for me?
Anybody? I don't think we do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms.
Okay, before we move on, we'll ask the applicant to come back, and I will ask some of the questions asked by Mr. Morris. Could you give a little more explanation about what the mitigation proposed?
So the mitigation area that's shown on the site plan is kind of roughly double the impact area that we're showing on the site plan, and that area is intended to be a conservation. It's not going to be touched. It's going to be set aside. No trees will be removed or anything like that. So it's basically an additional area that we set aside to mitigate for the impacts to the stream.
The rest of that area, is it green space?
It is.
Between the two subdivisions?
It is, yeah.
So you have no intentions of being in that space, cart paths or anything like that?
No, not that.
That's
I think the intention was not to create, or not to have a cart path between the golf course and the subdivision. I think that's going to be abandoned. So there's not going to be any disturbance in between the two subdivisions.
And that's open space that belongs to your project, or does
That's
that
right.
belong to the other subdivision?
It belongs to this subdivision, or this development here. Yes, this
It
property.
belongs to his development?
Or to
Belongs to yours?
yeah, ours, yeah.
And the question was asked if in the conservation or the mitigation area if the trees would be clear cut. So it's minor,
Yeah,
they would not be cut.
Undisturbed,
They-
right,
they would-
undisturbed,
They
yeah.
would remain as they are.
right.
And then additionally, you are proposing the infiltration trench behind these homes.
That's correct. And additional silt fencing and water quality testing that's required by the state that will go along too, so.
Was the area proposed for mitigation ever going to be disturbed?
I think that we had some intentions of robbing that area for dirt to move to the hardest part of the site, but I think that if we can do this, then we don't have to touch any of that area at all.
Okay, because I don't know how it's mitigation if it was never going to be utilized.
On the rest of the open space there.
Right. Does anyone on the committee have any additional questions? Okay, thank you. That is the end of the, I guess, public comment and question and answer part of this meeting. I'll just ask again if anyone on the committee has any questions or if anyone's prepared to make a motion.
I do have a question. I'm wondering about the resident who has stated that they've got someone engaged in looking at this. How long of a time they would anticipate before that engineer would be ready to share information with this body?
Ms. Johnson, I don't know if you heard that question.
He is on board. He has the information that I have gotten so far from our county engineers and zoning. And he's very involved. He wants to do site survey. He wants to do some reports. And I don't know how long it would take for him to come back, but I'm sure he would put this very high on his list and he would have information soon. I can't guarantee when the report would be ready, but he said that if we can get a table and he will start working on it right away. I know he will have to come out, look at the site, and do the geology and all the other kinds of investigation that he would do. He would do the very best job, and it wouldn't be cheap, but it would certainly be worth it, and it would be high on his list to take care of it. If he knew your time constraints, that would help me get back to him right away.
That's what I think I
He did
can
want me to call him right away after the meeting and let him know what happened.
give you some. Our next regularly scheduled meeting was set for December 15th. We did not have any items on that agenda, but that would be our next regular scheduled meeting. Do you think, that's almost a month, do you think the 15th?
I think he could certainly have some good information for you.
Okay.
In light of all the information that we've gathered, I would like to make a motion, if appropriate.
Please.
Motion would be to table till December 15th.
Okay, we have a motion to table from Mr. Baker,
I'll second that.
and we have a second from Ms. Ashmore. Any questions? If there are no questions, can I take a vote? Everybody in favor of tabling until December 15th, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, this item has been tabled until Tuesday, December 15th, and our typical meeting time would be 2 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock. So we will have that on December 15th at 2 p.m. There are no other agenda items, so I will ask for a motion to table. I mean, not to table, to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Baker to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
We'll give one to Mr. Jones. So we have a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you very much.